Hi everyone, hi, it's Sylvia Kuchena here. So, today let's talk about fear. How fear is impacting your life, what happens if fear is ruling your life? What happens if fear is ruling your life? What happens if you submit yourself to fear, and how is that then impacting you? Because as you can imagine, the effects of that are not great. Because fear has many faces, and sometimes it creeps into your life without even realizing that you are afraid, that that everything that you do is based on fear. It's like subconsciously you're afraid, consciously you might not be aware of that 100%. So how, what kind of faces um, fear has? Number one, it's procrastination. When you procrastinate, there is underlying fear of you not being maybe good enough, you don't want to make mistake. There's a fear that you might fail at something or you make a mistake, so you prefer just not to touch it, not to do it. So you will procrastinate because underlying a motive is fear. I don't want this, I don't want to feel guilty, I don't want to feel like I'm not good enough, I don't want to do this, so I won't do it. That is also that is very close linked with denial. Sometimes we won't want to face things. We know deep down, we know they're there, we feel it with every cell in us, but we just don't name it, don't say it. We pretend it's not there, the issue isn't there. No, everything is good, everything is fine, sure, no issue. You're in denial. So again, underlying motives, it's fear, because you just don't want to step into the unknown. Because if you won't deny it, if you will have to face the issue, you don't know the outcome. You don't know how it will end up. You don't know what's on the other side, let's say. So when you're in denial, you know what is here, you're feeling safe. So fear is gonna again ruling your life into, I prefer to deny it because at least I'm feeling safe and I don't need to step into the unknown. Another thing that fear will show up in your life that you might not be aware of is when you don't want to make any decisions. So let's say your friends are asking you to go out for a dinner and they're asking you, where do you want to go? And like, I don't mind, I don't care, wherever you decide. That is, not wanting to tell them where exactly. And maybe you are dying for Chinese, or like you would want to go to Italian restaurant, but you're just not sure if they like it too. So you prefer not to decide, because what if they won't like it? So everything kind of falls down on you, and then it's you to blame. So not making decisions is maybe to avoid um you know being blamed on something for something. So again, based on fear, I don't want to make decisions, I'm not choosing anything, but that is still your choice. Not choosing anything is still your choice. So you're still choosing, but not being honest with yourself. You're not honestly telling yourself what exactly you want. You don't speak it out loud because underlying emotion is fear. Okay. And another thing is, fear will also take away your confidence. Fear, when you're afraid, you're always questioning yourself. You're always try to figure out what other people think. You always try to be the best, maybe, or you always try to be or act the way you think people expect you to. You think you just act the way you think they expect you to act. So that's, you're disconnecting yourself from yourself. You're not being honest with yourself. You're just doing things because you think that's what is expected from you, but really it's their fear of not being accepted by somebody else. It's the fear of, oh my god, they will abandon me, they will reject me, they will not like me, they will not accept me. I need to play in their game. I need to know what they think, so then I know how to act, so then they can accept me. Like, mind-blowing. Like, you're doing all this in your head, and no wonder you're so busy in your head all of the time, because everything you do is try to predict or try to cover the fear the fear of not being good enough, the fear of being rejected, the fear of am I likable, am I lovable. It's that deep. Fear of, am I worthy, am I actually a worthy human being? Of course you don't ask those questions. You ask yourself, you will ask yourself, what does somebody else thinks of me, so I can feel safe. But why would you think like that? Why, if you felt worthy, or if you felt like you have, or if you had the confidence in you, you wouldn't need to ask those questions, because you wouldn't care. You just would not care. You would care about you, your own relationship with yourself, and based on that, you would make decisions. So you would feel confident. You wouldn't need to play games of mind and try to figure out what other people think. You wouldn't want to be in somebody else's mind, because you would truly believe that your mind is enough for you to deal with. Okay? Another thing that fear is ruling your life, another evidence that fear is ruling your life, is when you try to be perfect in every single thing. And I can really relate to this one, because long time ago, there was time when I believed I had to be perfect in absolutely everything. My self-worth was so distorted, so destroyed maybe, that, I believed I had to prove to everyone that I am good enough. I wasn't really likable when I was a child. I I never had much friends. School wasn't the best time for me, but I liked learning. I liked lessons, so that was good. But the friends part, not always. So I believe that impacted me as well, my sense of worth, on top of everything else that was going on in my life at the time. But then I got, as I mentioned during our last video, that I became a mother very young. I was 18 when I had my first child. So that itself, and everything that was going on in my life at the time, and the comments I heard about myself, they were not nice. So self-worth teared apart. So with that, I felt I'm really unworthy. I felt like I was a failure. I felt like I did really bad in my life. I felt I was like, oh my god, I really screwed my life up, really. But then slowly I got into this circle of believing like, oh my god, if I'm feeling so worthy and not good enough, I need to prove to everyone that I am. So what can I do? What can I do to get my husband, then boyfriend, to love me and not to leave me? What can I do to get my child to love me and accept me and be happy that I'm his mother, even though I don't have any experience, and he's so little and I'm so young, and like, oh my god. So with all of that in back of my head, I made myself believe that I have to be perfect. I had to be perfect in being the mother. I had to be perfect in housewife, well, I don't know. With housewife, I had to be perfect in keeping, being wife, girlfriend at the time. I had to be perfect in majority of aspects of my life, the aspects that were very important to me, and I was afraid to lose, and I was afraid to fail, and I was afraid to feel like I did mistake. So I convinced myself I had to be perfect. And that wasn't easy. That wasn't easy, you know, for 18-year-old with a family on your own, living by yourself. It's just, it was a lot, you know, and I didn't realize at the time that how much I actually had on my shoulders. I just believed I need to keep going, keep going, keep going, and I didn't really stop myself, because if I would stop myself, it meant I had to face my fears. And my fears were that I wasn't good enough. My fears were that I'm not worthy. My fears were that I'm a failure. So I kept going and going and going, and I was doing things, and you know, I really believed I was perfect wife and mother and house housewife and everything, you know, everything was spotless. The child was clean all the time. He always had everything that he ever needed, and my husband was quite happy. He was, you know, quite happy. He was happy with me. He was happy. I want to believe he was happy. Well, we are together 14 years, so obviously I had to do a good job. But yes, you know, my husband was always very supportive of me. He never knew, he didn't have to understand the psychology or to know. He always kind of bring reassurance, you know, he always reassured me like, love you no matter what, even if the house will be clean, if the house won't be clean, I don't care. I love you for who you are, not. And you know, slowly then I started to really reflect back on my life and myself. I started to work really hard on myself. Yeah, and 8 years, you know, 6 years in therapy and all of this other things, that was, you know, I really worked hard to be where I am now. But what I'm trying to say, no matter how much you believe you're unworthy, you're not good enough, that's illusion. It's not real. And I really say this because I was there. I really was there. I really felt I needed to be perfect because I was trying to cover up my own flaws, I wasn't accepting that I had flaws. Like, oh my god, like, who would want to be with someone who has flaws? What kind of child would want to love their mother if they knew she had so many flaws? Yeah, that was my reality. Today, looking back at me back then, it's like completely two different people, completely two different women. You know, I wished I loved myself back then, but I know I love myself enough and I respect myself enough now to know that whatever I believed back then, it was illusion that I created because I was just afraid. I was just afraid of the unknown. I was afraid of losing it all completely. And I felt lost and I felt confused, but I wasn't able at the time to admit that to myself. So wherever you are in your life today and whatever you believe, question that. Question yourself. Question, why am I doing this? What is my motives? Am I afraid? Am I allowing fear to rule my life? Just think about it. Just think, what is ruling your life? Because where is if your perception creates your reality. So if the perception that you're holding right now isn't good, it will impact your life. The perception that you have right now of yourself, of the world, if it's not healthy, it's going to impact your life very negatively. Very negatively. But it's up to you what you're going to choose. There's two main emotions that are ruling our life. Number one, I believe. So number one is fear, and the other one is excitement. Those two fears are the main fears that are ruling our life. That is, those two feelings are the main feelings. So you either do everything based on fear, or you do everything based on excitement. Fear, I did say it at the very beginning, how it can rule your life. So let's say if you feed your mind with all the negative thoughts, if you keep telling yourself you're this, you're that, you're not good enough, you're shit at this, you should be better at this, why am I so stupid? If that's what you keep telling yourself, how is that going to impact you and how you feel about yourself? But then on the other hand, if you will be kind to yourself and if you will tell yourself, look, I have my dreams, this is what I want, I know it's not going to be easy all of the time, but I know I can do it. I'm just gonna trust myself that this is going to work out for me. And I'm not giving up on me. And I am good enough to have my dreams. I am good enough. And I don't need to prove myself to anybody. I'm doing things for me because my life belongs to me. Do you see the difference in those two energies? Do you see how much those two things can really impact you? If imagine yourself like you're feeding your body in a very junk food, not very healthy, all rubbish, very sugary, very based on carbon, and it's just not good food. And you keep feeding yourself and your body for a whole month. How would you feel after 1 month? Lack of energy, very sleepy, very easy irritated, angry, like no energy to do, you want to do anything, no even room for having like a sparkle of new ideas because you'll be just so dull and just so tired. And you wouldn't feel good about yourself, you wouldn't like yourself, you'd be like, oh. On the other hand, if you would feed yourself with good food for a whole month, vegetables, very nutritious food, very, lots of vitamins, lots of good things for you, how would you feel? How would you feel in your body? You would have lots of energy, you would want to try new things, to be lots of room to and we're gonna go for a walk and we're gonna do this, and like new ideas will come because you look after yourself. So your body is reactive on how you feed it, what you taken in, your body feels it. Your mind is exactly the same. Your mind works as exactly the same. If you're going to feed your mind with negative stuff all of the time, if you're going to watch news all the time, listen to radio, all of those things are very negative. There's very little good things in the news, there's very little good things in it's all based on fear, it's based on not good, like this world is scary, like it's all that. And on top of that, you keep telling yourself you're not good enough, you're bad at your work, your friends don't like you, your wife or your husband doesn't love you enough. You keep telling yourself on top of what you're already feeding your mind with. How do you expect to feel good and lovable about yourself? How do you expect to feel good, have good mental health, have good well-being? How do you expect yourself to feel, I can do this? No, you can't, because you're feeding your mind with completely dull things, thoughts. Thought itself, it's powerless. Thought itself is just in, out, is just something passing. Thought itself it's powerless. But when you dwell on one thought over and over again, over and over again, over and over again, that generates emotion in you. It's like now you have a thought with your emotion, and now that's what is dangerous, because that's what start to make you feel like you believe it. And the more you go on to this, that sink into your subconscious, and then that becomes your reality. If you feed yourself with positive things, if you would feed yourself with, I can do this, I'm good enough, I can hear myself, I am listening to myself, I'm listening to my needs, I'm allowing myself to really listen to my intuition. If I want to find, if I want to have something, I'm going to allow myself to have it. If I want to have a nice lazy evening, because this is going to be part of my self-care and it's going to be good for me in the morning because I will have more energy, then I'm going to do it without feeling guilty. You got to treat yourself more with respect. You know, the more you will feed yourself with positive stuff, the more you will feed yourself with and pay attention to the positive stuff, that will become your reality. It's never the other way around. Your thoughts together with your emotions are creating your reality. So whatever you dwell on, whatever you believe on, it's going to be your truth. That's it. When you focus on the negative, you automatically start to see things very negatively. It's very hard for you to actually notice, oh, there's a bird on the sky, oh my god, those sun rays are so lovely, oh my god, the smell of the coffee is so nice. You don't see those things because your thoughts are more focused on where's the negatives. Oh, this person was rude, this person didn't smile, this person was so not nice and in that shop. That's where your focus is. If you then have the transition between this and that, it's not easy, but it's very much doable. You can do it. So if you will transition yourself from this to that, change consciously your thoughts of, I'm choosing to be positive, I'm choosing to notice positive things, I'm choosing to see good things, I'm rejecting news, I'm rejecting radio, I'm rejecting all those gossips that people are talking at work, I'm rejecting talking bad about somebody else, I'm rejecting this, I don't want this anymore, this is rubbish, trash, out. You have that power to change it. You can change your reality. And the only way is to change your thoughts. Change what you concentrate on. Where is your focus? That's where is your attention, your focus? That's where the energy goes. When the energy goes, there's your thoughts, there's your feelings, amplifies it, and it sinks into yourself, and that then becomes your reality. How come there's so many different people around this planet, and yet at the same time, people who can see or perceive this world as a very dangerous place to be, but at the same time, for somebody else, this world can be the best thing that ever happened to them because they're so much in love with life. How come? It's not the world itself. It's you and it's your perception of the world. If you will tell me that the world is very scary because it's very uncertain, it's a very bad place to be, like diesel goes up, groceries goes up, the prices of those things everything goes up, pensions stays the same, and it's like lack of money everywhere, and if that's what you want to believe, then that's what it's going to be. So what the prices go up? You don't concentrate on the groceries, like, oh my god, like I paid, I don't know, 100 and now I have to pay 120, 130. So what? How does that matter? You don't concentrate on what is going up. You concentrate, okay, how can I generate more money? You believe that whatever it happens out there doesn't affect you because you know you always have enough. You're going to have enough. But if you start to perceive that this world is, so bad place, this is, like, people are bad, this planet is bad, is, there's a war, there's this, there's that, prices go up, and oh my god, the impending doom is coming to get us. The doom and gloom of everything is just around us. Then doom and gloom is going to be your life. That's it. If you will start to see, read, take a step out of that doom and gloom mindset. Take a deep breath. Look around you. Aren't you safe? You have car, you have safe country, you're safe. People have money, they always will have money. There is loads of workplaces, people are kinder than they ever have been. Like, the planet, the life on this planet was never better than what we have now. Was never better. Like, if you really think of how many people are actually able, like, how easy it is to live really on this planet. All what you have to do is, like, really, if you don't want to do anything, have no dreams, but just to have an easy, plain life, it's very easy to achieve. All what you have to do is go to work, save a little bit from that, have your bills paid, get maybe some clothes, get, once a month to go for a coffee or somewhere. It's very much doable. It's very much doable. You don't need much effort. You don't need much effort. It's all about balance. So if you're tired of having this doom and gloom mindset and negative and based on fear, and you finally start to want to feel excited about life, fall in love with yourself, fall in love with life, be more positive, see the abundance all around you, really change the self-concept of how you feel and how you perceive yourself, then I really invite you to my masterclass, this Fearless Soul Masterclass. It's a 6-day masterclass together with workbook and meditation and affirmations for you to really grasp the aspect of yourself, self-concept, happy, fulfilled, peaceful life that you deserve. Everything I have created in that masterclass is for you to really empower you, to really start believing in yourself and get yourself out of the doom and gloom mindset, because it's a lot. It's a lot to hold on to yourself. It's a lot to carry on when this is your life is based on. I'm helping you to shift your mentality from this to much more positive, happy place, and I will help you achieve your goals. So if you think this is something for you, I encourage you to sign up. Thank you so much.